So the internet is flooded with videos and stories about the Black Moors invading Europe, and they conquered Europe for hundreds of years. Guys, first of all, the so-called Moors only had parts of Spain. Secondly, the Moors were not Sub-Saharan African. Who are the Moors? Well, you have a country on the other side of the Mediterranean. It's called Morocco. It's called after the Moors. Morocco. These are Arab Muslim people. And when did these Arab Muslim people conquer the Middle East and North Africa? That was in the 7th century after Christ. It's only 1400 years ago when they conquered that region. These were the Arab Muslim caliphates who conquered North Africa. So with the rise of Islam in the 7th century, Islam spread out all through the Middle East and North Africa, and even went into the Sub-Saharan regions, converting Sub-Saharan Africans into the Islamic religion, also using them as slaves, and even using Sub-Saharan Africans as soldiers. So among the Moors, yes, there were black Sub-Saharan African people, but that does not mean that all the Moors were black. But the original Arabs were not even brown or black like you see today. If you do a DNA test on a modern day Arab, you see that they have 10 to 20% Sub-Saharan African DNA, because they also started to intermix with them. So who were these people who were living in North Africa along the coastal regions before the Arab invasions? They were not black Sub-Saharan Africans. They came in later, even though some Nubians already went into Egypt later. But this whole northern region was still Caucasian. Yes, this is the Roman Empire, and they stretched out all the way from Europe, Middle East, and the coastal regions of North Africa. This has always been Caucasian territory. And if you notice that the Romans were not concerned with Sub-Saharan Africa or the Far East. They were concerned about these regions because they were of the same kindred people. Even before the Romans, the Greek Empire, they stretched all over that same region. It was still the same people. And if you look today at North Africa, especially at countries like Morocco, there is a tribe that was there before the Arabs even lived there. And when you can, like you see in this picture, they had blonde hair and blue eyes, even though also many of them started to intermix with the darker Arabs. But even before the Romans and the Greeks, white people have been living there for a long time, and they founded cities like this city, Carthage. And Carthage was founded by Phoenicians. Who were the Phoenicians? Phoenicians were part of the tribes of Israel, and they were called Phoenicians by the Greeks. And one of their great generals was General Hannibal. And like you see on this coin, Hannibal was a man who looked exactly like an old ancient Greek. So these were still all peoples of the same family. So North Africa and Egypt came from the sons of Noah, who were all the same. The idea that Noah had a black son and a brown son and a white son is just not true. Of course, all sons were the same. And one of the sons of Noah was Ham. And the sons of Ham, one of them was Mizraim, who was the progenitor of Egypt. And Canaan, he started to intermix, right? Also Cush started to intermix. But North Africa was still white. That's why the Greeks took over then North Africa, and later the Romans. But you know that Christianity moved into Europe. Europe became the promise to Abraham. And in the 7th century, North Africa changed demographics and they became all brown Arabs. So you cannot look at the Middle East today or North Africa today and assume that these people always look like this, or like the black Hebrew Israelites and the Afrocentrists think that it was always black. It's just not true, guys. And General Hannibal even went into Spain over the Alps, fought the Romans. It was always a power struggle between the same people. Guys, understand true history, because it is your identity, it is your very soul, and your very existence depends on it.